It is Monday, the 15th of August, 1960, and the Baltimore Orioles are visiting the New York Yankees. This episode is a new approach to telling the history of America's favourite game. Just as radio stations would recreate baseball games from ticker tape messages, we can research this classic game and present it to you as if you were listening to the radio in 1960. Information was sourced from several sites and records, including retrosheet.org and sportsreference.com. This broadcast should not be considered a complete or fully accurate historical record. Nevertheless, this is our story of the game.
And an extended music out there as we have a slightly later start to our game this evening. Good evening, America. Ewan Spence here, high above the diamond here in Yankee Stadium, as we get what you could arguably say is a top of the table clash from the American League. Baltimore 65-47 are the visitors here. The White Sox, they are in play tonight, and they welcome Detroit. The White Sox also on 65-47 and just half a game back are welcoming a home team, the New York Yankees, in 62-45. So a couple of games in hand, but everybody here in the American League trying to get a little bit of an edge, trying to find a way to break free from the pack. This top three have done that. You got to go to Cleveland, go 9.5 back in fourth place. So you're looking here right now at our, let's just say they're both at the top. They're within half a game of each other. Yankees are half behind, but they've got games in hand. So there is a lot of pressure in this two-game series as we open up. Is the old might and power and Route 1 of Casey Stengel's Yankees going to prevail, or will the fleet-footed, quick-darting, strategic offense and defense of Paul Richards' Baltimore Orioles herald in a new dawn here in 1960 in how to play baseball? We might get a little bit of an answer of that tonight, even though it is measured over the entire season. Okay, line-up cards as we look down and everything's just getting underway in the final warm-ups going through. Baltimore Orioles leading off is their center fielder Jackie Brandt, batting number one. Batting second is right fielder Gene Stevens, and then batting third will be left fielder Gene Woodling. Middle of the order, first base Jim Gentile, third base Brooks Robinson, and catcher Clint Courtney is the middle of the order, 4, 5, 6, and closing out 7, 8, 9. Shortstop Ron Hansen, second base Marv Breeding, and pitcher Jerry Walker in your 7, 8, 9. In terms of the Yankees defense, Edgar Lopez, Mickey Mantle, and Yogi Berra are your left, center, right. In the outfield, Tony Kubek will be your shortstop. Ted Rogers, 3-2-1. Clayton Boyer, Bobby Richardson, Bill Skowron at first, Richardson at second, Boyer at third. Catching will be Johnny Blanchard, and pitching, coming into his own in the 1960 season, will be Art Dittmar. Your umpiring crew, four-man crew today: Nestor Zilak out at first base, Johnny Stevens at second, Bill McKinley covering third, and your home plate umpire, and keeping an eye on everything here, will be Jim Horacek. So we get ready to go underway here, a rather blustery Yankee Stadium. Wind is coming in from the outfield across third base and into home plate, so you loft the ball to try and get out there. It ain't going anywhere except into the outfield. So you 1, 2, 3 for the Orioles as we kick off there. Jackie Brandt, Gene Stevens, and Gene Woodling. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3. We'll just have a little look down. We're getting the final warm-up pitches underway from Art Dittmar, so we are ready to get underway here at Yankee Stadium. And just before we do that, remember that you're listening to Classic Baseball Radio, and you can support our recreations with a small pledge at ko-fi.com/Classic Baseball Radio. And don't forget to like, love, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you follow your podcasts. In 66 years' time, that phrase will make some sense. Okay, shall we get underway? The signal is coming there from our home plate umpire, Jim Horacek. think it goes out to our Dittmer. Whenever you're ready to throw our first pitch, feel free to get us underway. And it's going to go high for ball one, and we're underway here. And for those of you keeping track at home, it is 8:14 here in New York. As we get called strike one to go equal low on the count 1-1, Brant will be looking to get contact here and try and get some power into the ball, but of course with that wind blowing through, it's going to be fouled high and blown foul. 1-2, and it goes out over the first base line. And then you're going to see that, you're going to see the pitch balls, you're going to see the fly balls getting caught in that wind and going through. 1-2 comes down, and that's going to be hit, and it's high up. It's going to be picked up by shortstop Tony Kubek, and that's going to be your first out there. You just see that there, Kubek. I'm going to do a little bit of a shuffle there just to make sure under the ball. Of course, Yankees players know the wind conditions here. They've played in them often. They know how to play them. The younger kids from the Orioles team, well, they might have a little bit more getting used to this. It's a little bit quieter where they play. Gene Stevens steps in now, down from Boston, and just making his own play out here in right field, not having to worry about covering for Ted Williams anymore. And it goes for a called strike one. Whitmer just working the change up and sinker as he goes through and just checks all his repertoire, getting relatively route one and just getting the arm loosened off here. And that goes for 1-1. We're equal low once more. Our Dittmer, as I said, just staying relatively centre. I just think he's trying to get a feel of where the wind is. He'd love to throw inside, but until he's got a good, clear idea where the wind is going to take those balls, he's just going to, yeah, there we go for a 2-1 ball. That goes underneath the zone, and Stevens decides not to swing on that one, so it's going to be 2-1. Comes down, and that's going to be hit. Line drive, base hit goes down right field line. And pass for Richardson, Yogi Berra jogging in to take that one. And Stevens just taking himself up to first base. So we have our first base runner, and it comes from the Orioles with one out. So Gene Stevens on first. We're one away for the Baltimore Orioles, and Gene Woodling comes in to the mound now. Of course, he's a veteran of the Yankees himself. So here's someone who does know the stadium, and you couple that with just a delightful ability to get on base for a called strike one to go 0-1. He's a runner at first, and on base here will just get everything settled, and the Orioles get on the board quickly. That'll be what they will be looking to do, get themselves settled if all possible, and that goes. Well, I think I was going to say it was blown to the outside there with the wind, so third at bat, we get the third 1-1 equal low count. 1-1 comes down, and that's going to be hit comfortably, picked up. Bobby Richardson at second, Tony Gilberto very short, covers the bag, and there's the force out at second. Woodling reaching on the fielder's choice, and Stevens forced out there. Up on second base. Jim Gentile now, our Diamond Jim, who is on a bit of a hitting streak right now, but it's 2 outs for the Orioles. Runner at first, and we're after a smart opening. Dittmer's just starting to settle in now and gets a high strike one as that goes up and over. Gentile swinging for the hit there, not finding that out. Or shakes off one pitch. Okay, comfortable there, made the decision on the second. And that's fouled off down the right hand line again once more. Wind lifting that one up a little bit. And Gentile's bat lifting it up even more. Takes us to 0-2. We're just going to take the first one called. And that's line drive. No, picked up by Scouron. Steps over under the first bag and gets the out himself there. So that is side retired. Just the one hit coming there from Gene Stevens, but your numbers are no runs, so for the one hit, no errors charged to the Yankees, and just the one left on base. You're listening to Classic Baseball Radio here as we settle into the first inning of the Orioles-Yankees game. And look at the lineup card of the New York Yankees. Here, 1, 2, 3, the lead off will be first shortstop Tony Kubek, second lineup left fielder Hector Lopez, and the third in the lineup is your center fielder Mickey Mantle. Middle of the order, 4, 5, 6. Fourth is first baseman Bill Skowron, who's just had the unassisted out there at first. Right fielder Yogi Berra. Well, he wasn't a bat in the lineup. You don't want to put him in too much in catching. You shove him out there and shove Yogi Berra out there. Less. Catcher Johnny Blanchard is going to be sixth in the lineup. 7, 8, 9, Clete Boyer. Third baseman is 7. Bobby Richardson, second baseman at 8. And our pitcher, Art Ditmar, is going to be in 9th in the order. Offensive lineup for the Orioles across the top: Gene Woodling, Jackie Brandt, and Gene Stevens at your left, center, right. Ron Hansen is your shortstop. Ted Rogers, 3, 2, 1. Brooks Robinson, Marv Breeding, Jim Gentile, and that's Gentile at first, Breeding at second, Robinson at third. Your catcher with the C on the scorecard is Clint Courtney, so that's all the C's across the board. And Jerry Walker is going to be your pitcher. Young pitcher, and just trying to balance off the finesse that he has, but not a huge amount of power early in his career here. So don't expect him to be given too much leeway by the manager, especially when he got some strong names on the bench. I mean, speaking to me earlier, Hoyt Wilhelm really does want to get out and get a game here, but we'll just see how long Jerry Walker is going to stay out there. 3, 1, 2, 3, Tony Kubek, Hector Lopez, and Mickey Mantle. Bottom of the first with the Yankees batting, and no runs on the board as yet. And we get ourselves underway there with a high ball 1 from Jerry Walker. Tony Kubek just sitting there in the box. Two rather young faces facing each other. Kubek, of course, getting 3 or 4 years more experience on Walker after ball 2. Still high as well. 1957 Rookie of the Year is settled into his role as an athletic shortstop. He'll be looking for the line drives here, especially with the wind. And that's going to be ball 3 again, 2 high and 1 low. Kubek just leaving the bat sitting on his shoulder. A little bit of curve trying to work its way in here, as that gets fouled off. 3 and 1. Push down right hand sideline. 3 and 1 sits there for called second strike, so count goes full. Take your pick, something's going to happen. Foul, out, or action. Which one do you think it's going to be? It's early enough to be started on decisions like that one there, and that's going to go foul as well. High and up over third base line. Robertson just looking up to see if the wind is going to have any impact on that one, but no, not as yet. We'll do the 3-2 payoff pitch once more. Comes down, lofted high. That's going long. Its wind's going to pick it up and blow it short of the wind. Gene Woodling out in left field, and yeah, Gene Woodling is going to take that one out the air. And the Yankees fans, as always, showing their displeasure. So 1 away, 1 up, 1 down, and the wind already proving it's going to be an extra man no matter where you're the Yankees or the Orioles in defense. Hector Lopez steps in now. 281 for this season. Yellow Panic has got the bat running. It's not necessarily getting it safely in defense, but the bat is hot at the moment as he takes ball 1. Walker just again grazing the top of the zone. Trying to go for the pop-up there, I think, and get those up and see what he can cope with the air. And that's probably the wrong thing you want to do when you've got a Yankees team that goes ball. No, that's going to go called strike, so 1-1. Yankees team know the wind. Yusuf Walker thinks he can find a little bit more on that one. 1-1 comes down, and that's lofted high as well. It's going long with Yankee Stadium. It's not going to have the distance with the wind. Jackie Brand takes that one there, and so Cheers just quieting down as that one's caught in the outfield. Far enough away going out of centre left field as it is. Once you put a bit of wind onto that as well, it ain't going to happen. 2 up, 2 down for the Yankees. No runs on the board for either Baltimore or the Yankees yet here in the bottom of the first. Mickey Mantle steps in, and that's going to be ball 1. Walker just grazes the bottom of the zone on that one there and drops it away, but give him the ball. Steps and has a little look around, checks in with the infield. Back up to the mound now for a 1-0. And that's going for called strike, so equal low, 1-1. Metal swings and hits that one hard and foul. Straight into the dugout. 1-2. 1-2 comes down, and that's going to hit straight to first base. Picked up Jim Gentile underneath that one and gets his foot on the bag. And there's another unassisted first base out to finish off an inning. Does that at the top, does that at the bottom. 3 up, 3 down on the Yankees there. No runs, no hits, none left on base, and no errors charged to the Baltimore Orioles. So first inning out of the way, no runs on the board. Defense very much solid on both teams. Robinson, Courtney and Hansen up next for the Orioles. Who needs the 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the box with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. So we go into the top of the second, no runs on the board as the Yankees welcome the visitors, the Baltimore Orioles, and it's going to be Brooks Robinson to lead that off. Robinson already racking up the first with the Baltimore Orioles' first ever cycle, hit back 2 or 3 weeks ago, July 15th, and watches that one go past him there for ball 1. That stays on the shoulder. 292 for the season, 10 home runs as well. It'd be impressive if we can find one here with the wind blowing hard. And ball 2 comes down there, so that goes to the outside. Art Detmer just again playing a little bit with the wind to see where it's going. It's relatively consistent, it's not gusting. And lofted up over the left field. Hector Lopez jogs in to get that one. Just a couple of steps needed and into the glove there, well positioned. Against the wall, about 20-30 feet in from the warning track, but doesn't have to go far. As I said there, the Yankees know their stadium, know the weather. I think Courtney comes in now. Cadger a little bit higher up the batting order than many would expect. 238 for the season. Tough and scrappy, so quite happy to bring his bat in there and fouls that one down third base line. Not in one. Courtney already having a good idea where the ball is going with the wind. And line now. Bobby Richardson stops that one over at second base. Underarm, Bill Scarron picks that up at first. And that's a run out there at first base. 2 up, 2 down. Very appreciative of that one. Ron Hansen steps in now. Very much the tallest shortstop you're going to see just now. And the rookie stands 6'3". get the power behind the ball if everything is lined up correctly. And he fouls that one there. Not in one. Hansen, 255 for the season and 11 home runs. One of the few power hitters that the Orioles really lean on. They're actually looking for speed and on the ground, but Hansen will watch that one go by for 1-1. Loves pushing down the line, loves going right out to the corners here. And we see ball 2-1. It's the one base runner for the Orioles so far, and that was top of the first from Gene Steams, who's then forced out on the second. Nobody's reached scoring position just yet for either team. So 3-1. Johnson just takes a step back out of the box. Zimmer and Blanchard just taking a moment to sort of make eye contact and be sure they know what they're doing. Back underway now. Up the second, Orioles and Yankees, no runs each. Ron Hansen with 2 outs in front of him. 3-1 comes down, and that's lofted high. The wind's got to push it down. No, it's got distance. It's going over left field. It's Hector Lopez watches that one. Goes over the fence, and Baltimore put the first run on the board here in Yankee Stadium. Home run for shortstop Ron Hansen in his rookie year. There's one to put in the scrapbook when you get home. Baltimore take the lead as Marv Breeding steps in to follow up on that. Top of the second, 2 outs on the board for the Baltimore Orioles, but more importantly, home run there from Ron Hansen puts them ahead 1-0 as Marv Breeding hits that one foul for strike one. Marv Breeding, 266 for the season. Breeding more in for the glove at second base than the bat prowess. 0-2 comes down, and that's going to go over to shortstop. Tony Kubek hits that over to the corner. Bill Skowron and side retired there on a classic 6-3. So 1 run there from the home run bat of Ron Hansen. That's the one hit for the inning. None left on base, no errors. So first on the board under the lights here at Yankee Stadium goes to the Baltimore Orioles. And coming up for your 1-2-3 for the Yankees will be Bill Skowron, Yogi Berra and Johnny Blanchard. So games going on around the league. We'll keep you up to date with the evening scores. One day game just to pick up there, and it's game 1 of a 2-game double header over in Cincinnati as the Reds welcome the Braves. And that's for the day game, Milwaukee 3, Cincinnati 5. The Yankees team here now looking at the kids with their finesse, going on a 1 run up. And then now we'll be going, yeah, we've got the power and the oomph, so let's see if we can make that up. Skowron is into the mound now and is going to just watch that bounce around baseline 4. Strike 1. Jerry Walker carries on pitching in. And that's going to be strike 2. 0-2 on Skowron. And ball 1. Just going to the outside there. Walker turns through a line of fastball and a curve, and working a little bit of a change-up, but he seems to be avoiding that in the conditions here. 1-2 goes 2-2, goes to the outside and low. Some curve just pushed away over. As I said, wind here is going to play a little bit of havoc with the pitching coming in. You're looking at about this sort of level with maybe about 3 or 4 inches of movement that you can have from the weather. as we count goes full. So 3-2 under the lights here at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the second. Payoff comes down. Line drive goes out down left field. Pass from Hansen is short. It goes into the empty gap there as we get Skowron going round first, and it's going to be a stand-up double into second. Line drive down left field. Pass shortstop on Hansen in the gap between Woodling and Brandt. And then no time to snap that round. Once everybody runs into the gap, you've already got Skowron pretty much at second base. So, first runner into scoring position for the game, and that belongs to the Yankees as Yogi Berra steps in now. Teammate on. No outs as it is in the bottom of the second and down by 1 run. It's the sort of situation that he's going to enjoy as he just watches that one go past for ball 1. Aaron taking a little bit of a lead here. A huge amount. Keeping himself in Walker's blind spot. And that's going to be ball 2. It's bouncing a little bit in and out of eye line there. Going to be ball 3. Pick-off attempt is made. That is going to be fine there, Skowron. Close enough to the bag. Gets back in time. Jerry Walker not averse to throwing pitches well outside the box to give his catcher a chance on those pickoffs. 3-0. Swings and foul contact there from Berra as it goes high up into the second deck down first base line. Souvenir for somebody high up there. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Going for the power there. So Kurt fills up for the second time in second batters for Jerry Walker. Takes a moment. Shakes one off from his catcher, Clint Courtney. 3-2. Comes down. And that's going to be ball 3. And we get runners at first and second for the Yankees. No outs as yet here. 2 up, 2 on. Bottom of the second. Johnny Blanchard comes in now. Proving his worth here. Subbing in is needed when they need Berra in the bat, but not Berra behind the mound. Blanchard watches the first ball come through. 1-0. Ball 1 goes ball 2. Landing left-handed. Johnny Blanchard doesn't like to pull the ball over when he gets the chance. Going to be assisted by the wind here as well as he lets that one go and has pushed the hit inside there. 3-0. And it's a grounder, picks up Merv Breeding at second, under the arm, shortstop. There's one turn, turns his forward at second. Jim Gentile picks that up at first, turn the double play. 2 away there, and the Yankees from having 2 on base and a strong header. Well, that's been traded in. You've got Bill Skowron, made it round to third, but in the process you've lost Yogi Berra and Johnny Blanchard there as well. So 2 away. But a runner in scoring position. Baltimore up by 1 here in the bottom of the sink, in the bottom of the second. Yankees tying run at third. Go ahead comes up now, and it's Clete Boyer. Contact batter. and just ticks the ball one. Brings himself ahead there. Well inside on that one there. Walker maybe expecting just a little bit stronger wind coming through on that one. And as we see another foul, low and down to the third base dugout. It goes 1-1. One comes down. Boys, smart hit there out to the left field. Line drive and picked up by Woodling. Dives and smothers the ball. Signalled for a fair catch as well. So that is going to be third out. And what started out so well with runners at first and second turned and traded away. So no runs on the board for the Yankees, coming off one hit and one walk. One left out there on base. No errors charged to the Orioles, who remain in the lead by 1. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx, with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. Into the third here, and it's the young whippersnappers of the Baltimore Orioles taking on the experienced, powerful bats of the New York Yankees. And it's the Orioles who are slightly ahead here. It's going to go 9-1-2 here as we welcome our first pitcher-pitcher matchup, Jerry Walker, and then back to the top of the order of Jackie Brandt and Gene Stevens. Walker doing well as a pitcher, batting .310 for the season, and not surprising, one of last year's All-Stars, and a 20-year-old, one of the youngest All-Stars we've had for some time. And falls behind in the batting straight away on a called strike. Dittmar continues on pitching duties, Blanchard continues on catching. As we see fouled off there for 0-2. 0-2 comes down, and that's going to go ground. Tony Kubek picks that one over the corner. Bill Skowron takes that one there, and Walker run out at first on a 6-3. So it's back to the top of the order. And pitcher didn't last long there and goes in favour of the Yankees. Jackie Pratt flew out to short in the first inning, and back in here at the third, and watches ball one as Dittmer sends that one just to the outside low corner. Dittmer just putting his hand in here, getting another feel of the wind. Temperature not really dropping here, got a relatively consistent 70 on the bulb as we see ball 2. And with the wind playing around and the temperature staying steady, conditions are blustery and a little bit unpredictable. It's 3-0. Grant going for a bit of speed and power, 266 for the season, so still trying to get contact, and good clean contact. 3-0. It's another one, goes straight to shortstop again. Kubek jumps up, gets that one, twists an underarm to Bill Skowron, picks that up first as well for another 6-3. 2 up, 2 down. And Dittmer happy with that one, and a nod out to Kubek. Way to grab that one fast at the waist. And looks away, turns round, and Skowron just does a quite not underarm, but right low and flat along the ground. Gene Stevens comes in, first hit for the Orioles in the first inning, and we're getting a chance to show what he can do when he's given a regular slot. He does had a lot of time up in Boston recently, as if Ted Williams can't play, you can be it, but if Ted Williams want to play, Then you're going to play, and that's going to be ball one. Stevens 268 for the season. Those low home run and RBI numbers as we get ball two just kind of typify the Orioles' approach. More about guile, more about finesse, just get your people on base and then just work them around rather looking for the big bats. As we see ball three, 3-0. Oh, it's a little bouncy squiffler, rolls towards the mound there. Dittmer picks it up, snaps it round. Skowron is going to be not in time. Gene Stevens gets on base there for the Orioles. 2 away, and a runner now at first. Team is now 2 for 2 in the game so far. Woodling comes in now, the fielder's choice in the first inning. Former Yankee facing former teammate. Dittmer opens up the bat, runner goes, Stevens goes for the steal on second, heads up, and it is going to be in time. Throw from catcher Johnny Blanchard, not in time. Up to Richardson at second base, so Stevens gets himself into scoring position. Orioles up by 1, and now go ahead further up at second base. 2 outs in the third inning so far. Woodling is going to be a called strike, by the way, so on a 0-1. And takes ball 2. No, it's called second strike. Woodling just has a little look back at our home plate umpire Jim Honishek, asking where he actually thought that went. It's coming in low. So runners at second, 2 away. Not 2. Line drive goes down out past centre field. Mickey Mantle running in to get that one. Bounces well in front, picks that one up, throws that long and hard back to home as we've got Gene Stevens running on, passing third. It's going to be into, and it's going to be Stevens home and safe. As Woodling takes that smart line drive, bounces just in front of Mickey Mantle out in the centre of field. Awkward ball to pick up from the field, a long throw. It's actually cut off to Tony Kubek at short before relaying back in. Stevens getting the legs on and bringing himself home for run number 2 for the Orioles, doubling the lead. Gene Woodling, the cutoff held at first, but he will take the RBI single quite happily. So 1 run on the board so far in the inning, 2 outs. Runner at first, Jim Gentile. As we said before, he's on a bit of a hitting streak. Now looks over, teammate at first, team up by 2. And that's going to be ball 1. Dittmer throwing to the outside. Sinker caught by the wind, I suspect. 1-0. And fouled. First base line on that one there. Gentile going for the opposite. 1-1. And we get ball 2 there. 6 low at the zone. Gentile leaves that be. 2-1. Called strike 2. Count goes equal high. I know we've had some full counts, but is that our first 2-2 we've had this evening? Don't think so. 2-2. Straight back towards that Dittmer. Gets that off the mound and over to Bill Skowron at first base there. 1-3 and side retired in the top of the third. But it's one that Baltimore will be very happy with. 2 hits in there, leading to 1 more run. Single from Gene Stevens, followed by the single from Gene Woodling. Stolen base from Stevens in the mix there. Just gets himself into range after that long line out to center field, and McNeil not getting the ball back in time. So into the middle of the third, and it's Baltimore up by 2. Lead's been doubled as the Yankees get 8-9-1. Bobby Richardson, Art Dittmar, and Tony Kubek will be up next. Baltimore coming into their own this season as a franchise. They're pretty much guaranteed to be over 500 where they are in the standing just now, unless there's an absolute complete collapse, which the way they're playing so far. Well, when the pressure gets put on the kids, we shall see what happens in September. But they've not had a 500 plus winning season. You have to go back to 1945 for them to find one. And even then, they weren't the Baltimore Orioles. They were the St. Louis Browns back then. So, franchise, something to cheer about this year. As I said, in that tie place right now, going into today's against the White Sox, both on 65-47. The Yankees half game back, but 4 in hand. It's all tied at the top of the American League. Pittsburgh, by the way, top of the National, 6 games ahead of second place Cardinals. So, you know, same with the American, far more action, at least in. Okay, Bobby Richardson, second baseman, steps in now. Contact hitter for the Yankees. Watches that one go to the outside and a fastball. So it's 1-0. Then Richardson will be looking for contact, so the infield is stepping in just a little bit. Jerry Walker may well try and do that for him. 1-0. And that's going to be lofted up high fly. Marv Breeden underneath that one for the Orioles. And there's a one away there and a fly ball out to second. Pitcher time once more. This time it's Art Dittmar receiving and Jerry Walker giving. And when it was the other way around, it was a ground out 6-3. So we'll see where we get now. As we see fouled off. Little bouncer around the feet before rolling down the third base line, 0-1. Dittmar batting 200. And that's with 44 plate appearances as well. As we see ball 1 come in. So count is equal low. Unsurprisingly, no home runs on the board, but there's 2 RBIs sitting there. So, here Dittmar's pitching line. As we see ball 2, see that the band line of the pitcher, 200 not and 2, and Jerry Walker 310 not and 3. So, doing a little bit of work. As we see ball 3, so 3-1 on the count. Bottom of the third here. Orioles up by 2. And fouled up and over. Another fly ball, but safely over the back and not in the catcher's glove. Count goes full. 3-2, 1 away. Yankees looking to make up 2-run lead that the Orioles have. The go-ahead would be Tony Kubek, who's currently on deck. The off pitch comes down, and that's going to be ground out to Mark Breeding at second, and all the time in the world for a slow, safe throw to Jim Gentile at first. And it's a ground out for Dittmar as well, so it's a ground out to both pitchers against their opposite number. 2 away, and we go back to the top of the Yankees order. Tony Kubek flew out to open up the Yankees' first inning efforts. And he's going to see ball 1 as Jerry Walker brings that one to the outside as well. Curving down nicely, but just not getting the left-right placement that he would hope for. A little slight adjustment on the foot on the mound. He's just looking to get a slightly different line of sight as he gets a called strike one. So a 1-1. Tony Kubek takes ball 2, 2-1. 2 away so far. Kubek just looking around, trying to get a gauge of the wind, I think, looking closely at the flags up on the third deck. Steps back in. 2-1 goes. Foul for 2-2. .295 for the season. 9 home runs, but not connecting earlier in the game and on the 2-2. And that's going out to second base as well. Mark Greening takes that one, needs a little bit more speed to get over to Jim Gentile this time, and it is still in time. So it's another 4-3. And side is retired in the third inning. It's zeros right down the way. No hits, no runs, none left on base for the Yankees. No errors charged to the Orioles either. And 3 up, 3 down there. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre 57 Grand Concourse. One, two, three. We're doing exactly as we did in the second inning here for the top of the fourth, with the Orioles, Robinson, Courtney and Hansen going to be in the mix on that one. Dimmer still out to pitch for the Yankees. Baltimore, 1 run in the second, 1 run in the third to give them a 2-run lead. Yankees still to get off the board. And we're underway with a ball 1. Going to the inside there. Dimmer quite happy throwing that two-seamer and brings it in just very slightly there. Not quite contact, ball 2. Still trying to get that inside lined in. Decide whether he's disrupting the eye line or it's just the wind that's going a little bit too much through. And that goes change up there. 3-0. Robinson hit for the cycle earlier this year. First, as I said, first one for the Orioles. 3-0. Goes there, down the ground, picked up by Cleat Boy over at third. Across the corners, Scourin picks that up there at first base. Foot on the bag before Robinson's foot on the bag, so 1 away. 5-3 on your cards. I think Courtney comes back in, ground out in the second. Scrap iron himself. Like a player who comes to Yankees and just looks for a bit of trouble. Right now though, 1 away with his team up by 2. Fouls that one off, 0-1. Cashing well behind the plate. Having contact made for Jerry Walker, but now it's his turn to try and get past the pitcher-catcher combination as he gets a cold strike 2. A game of wits and guile and bluff and double bluff between catcher, pitcher and batter. 0-2 comes down. Cold strike 3. And Courtney retired there with the first strikeout for Dittmer. 2 away. 1-run hero in now for the Orioles. Ron Hansen lofted that high and out towards left field previously. Art Dittmer will be careful to not give him anything too high, I think. And there's going to be strike 1 called. Wicked sinker as well there. So I think expecting that to stay just a little bit further up than it did. And called strike 2. Ron Hansen facing the not-in 2. And that goes up there once more to third base. Cleatwire takes that one over to Bill Scowron and side retired as the ball goes across the diamond for 3 up, 3 down, retired in order. Got the zeros all the way down. No hits, no runs, none left on base for the Orioles, no errors charged to the Yankees. Coming up for the pinstripes, Lopez, Mantle and Scowron when we head into the bottom of the 4th. So scores around the league. These are all at the end of 3. So the second game, that double header, the Braves and the Reds, no runs on the board there as yet. Detroit Tigers are visiting the Chicago White Sox. White Sox, of course, in the 3-way here, the top of the American League, but they're down by 2. Tigers have got 2 runs on the board. Nothing on the board yet for Philadelphia at Pittsburgh, and San Francisco at the St. Louis Giants up by 4. And so we go into the bottom of the 4th with the Yankees 2 runs down. Hector Lopez, Mickey Mantle, Bill Scowron, and now here to see where they can start their rally. Trey Walker stays on the mound, and does that ball grazes the top of the zone there, but it's been given a ball. So Lopez goes ahead in the count, 1-0. Fence has been a little bit wild out in left field for Lopez, but he's a good eye on things this evening. Fine balls and line drives going out there safely into the glove. This we get ball 2. 281 on the season from the Panamanian baseball player. As we get that one fouled off. 2-1. 2-1 goes 2-2. Called strike. Count goes equal high. And count goes full. 3-2 there on a ball that just harbs down and it's just left there. So payoff pitch comes on. 3-2. Line drive, that's going to be a base hit out to shortstop there. Hansen takes that one up and just glances around, and it's too late to attempt the throw there. Just a little bit of a pause in the brain, and with that, the Yankees have got themselves the leadoff base runner, Hector Lopez, out to first base. Mickey Mantle steps in now, represents the tying run. Team made up at first, and that's going to be called strike 1. Baltimore up by 2. Yankees no runs as yet here at Yankee Stadium. Mantle though looks hungry. Jerry Walker delivers the 0-1, and that's lofted deep in a right field. That's going to go high, it's going to go long. Stevens is just watching it going over the back wall. Home run, Mickey Mantle. Number 28 for the season, Lopez waves as he goes round from first base as well. And with that, 2 RBI bomb into the Bronx from Mickey Mantle. And the game is tied up here at Yankee Stadium. Baltimore Orioles 2, New York Yankees 2. And they're right back in it with a single swing of the bat from, yeah, you would have guessed it would have been Mantle stepping up there and swings the bat with power. It surprised me if he just does a little finger wave over to Maris somewhere and just goes, yeah, I'm right with you. Bill Skowron steps in now. Bags have been cleared. And that's going to be called strike 1 on Skowron. Double in the second inning. This is second at bat. Jerry Walker sends down the 0-1. And that's going to go out into the gap and into the outfield. Shallow center field. Brant's on the run in from the outfield to get that one. But it's going to be a round single. Skowron up to first base. No outs as yet in this inning. 3 hits out of the first 3. 2 runs on the board as well. Pair of the Yankees starting to come through here. And now you've got Yogi Berra stepping in as well. Jerry Walker having the sort of innings that young pitchers are afraid of when they come into Yankee Stadium. And he's going to throw that one down for ball 1. Berra leaves that one be. He leaves that one as well, ball 2. Walker's suddenly peppering the outside and peppering the low. And the experienced heads just aren't giving him the time of day. 2-0 goes foul, 2-1. There, of course, staying in the lineup by virtue of camping out at right field. 3 hits so far on the board for the first 3 batters here in the bottom of the 4th as we see ball 3 to go 3-1. We'll be looking to carry on the rally that we've started here with Lopez, Mantle and Skowron as we see cold strike 2. Goes outside and drops just enough, stays in the zone, 3-2, and bat stays on the shoulder and the walk is given. Berra, 2 walks and 2 stepping up to the bat. Skowron up into scoring position. Runners at first and second as we have Johnny Blanchard come in. 5 RBIs for the season, batting left-handed, so old hit down the first base lane. Bit of pace on there, could bring Skowron home. It's going to be ball 1. Pulls himself ahead again. Harry Walker, Orioles pitcher, based 4 on base. Throws another ball. Curves down and outside. Blanchard just letting them go past. Fouls that one. 2-1. And just takes a little visit into the dugout with the ball. 2-1. Yankees are all tied up here in the bottom of the 4th. No outs, 2 runs on the board. Tied game, runners at first and second. As we get a cold strike 2, count goes equal high. Yankees have woken up in this inning. And the age and power starting to show through. Orioles Jerry Walker just trying to find a way around here, and that's going to be ball 3. And a glance up at the bullpen, and we can see Hoyt Wilhelm warming up. So short leash that was in Jerry Walker looks to be pulled tight. 3-2. Lays down a bunt. Walker has to come in from the line to pick that one up. Takes it, throws it over. Jim Gentile goes over, but not before Scourin advances to third, and Barrett goes up to second. Sacrifice bunt there. With no outs on the board. Drives two in a scoring position with one away. And that is going to be it for Jerry Walker. Manager Paul Richards gives a signal in the young pitcher. That's going to be him for the day. 3 1/3 innings pitched. And out of that, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks and no strikeouts. As we welcome in White Wilhelm. Now this is going to be an interesting one for the Yankees. An experienced head on here. Wilhelm has been moved into the bullpen just to give the arm a little bit more longevity through the season. It also means that Courtney's going to stand up from the catcher's spot and just nip over to the dugout. We've seen this before. It looks absolutely comical. But when you've got a knuckleball like Wilhelm, who gets a huge amount of movement on the ball, you know what you need? You need a bigger glove. So you have a catcher's mitt. You know how hefty they already are. Now double it. Clint Courtney's absolutely massive catcher's glove comes out now. And the warm-up pitches are pretty much done. So Clayton Boyer is stepping in for the Yankees. And it is the bottom of the 4th. 1 away, but the game has been tied up. Mickey Mantle's home run, giving us 2 runs apiece. And that's going to be ball 1. Clayton Boyer just trying to get his eye around the movement. Wilhelm just going to try and see how much movement he can bring to the ball, how much the conditions are just going to give a little bit of predictability. As we get a called strike one. Okay, goes equal low. Wilhelm in terms of batting stats, 0.91 for the season. We'll see him at the top of the 5th actually, assuming that he's going to be staying in for the distance. And there's ball 2. 1 wobbles to the outside. Mostly all knuckleball coming in from Wilhelm. Will throw an occasional straight off speed. There again, is it an off speed or is it just a knuckleball that didn't take as we get 3 and 1? Boyer still trying to work out where the swing is going to be. 3-1, he's got a first base open with runners at second and third. 3-1, and that's going to go high, and it's going to be blown back by the wind. Ron Hansen at shortstop's going to have that one with just a few steps to the side to do a little shuffle for the weather. And I see he'll fly out just the other side of the infield track. So 2 away. The Yankees still have runners at second and third. It's Bobby Richardson from second base coming in now. Flew out to second in the 3rd inning. It's back in again, but it'll be the first time seeing White Wilhelm as we get ball 1. Wobbling there. I'm going to use the word wobble a lot. Don't make me find other words for wobble. Wobble, knuckle, shifty, bouncy, magic, wizard. Who knows where? Take your pick. And that's going to be called strike there as that one just bubbles into the bubble. We've got bubble, yep. Counts equal low. Maybe Richards for the Yankees, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Gets contact but goes foul on that one there. So we go 1 and 2. And we'll have just a little smile. So 1 and 2. Knuckles down. And that's going to be a bunt onto the ground. It's picked up and there. As Jim Gentile runs back and dives for the bag and gets onto the bag in time. And side is retired here at Yankees Stadium. Bunt laid down, but just a little bit of pace on it. Allowed first baseman Jim Gentile to go down, pick that up, snap himself round. We're Breeding on position, so Gentile just decides to bag and dive for the bag himself and gets there in time. So 4 runners go 1 and then 3 retired. So back 3 retired in order. Damage done by the first 4. 2 runs coming off 3 hits for the Yankees. 2 left on base as well. No errors charged to the Baltimore Orioles, but we are back with a tied game here in the Bronx. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. Top of the 5th, and it is an 8-9-1 for the Orioles. Our Breeding White Wilhelm is in the on-deck circles, so he's going to stay in pitching. Really a surprise on that one there. Jackie Brandt, top of the order, the 3rd for the top of the 5th. Breeding, the ground out in the 2nd. And that's going to open up with a ball 1 for Dittmer. Just still working to find his location. It's not really been there. The ball count has been higher than he would be comfortable with. As he does find it on that one there for called strike 1. And takes a called strike 2. So 1 and 2 for Breeding. Dittmer just looking around at the defense. Four hits so far in the game. And count goes at equal high. 2 and 2. And looking to work a little bit faster this time, maybe try and put Breeding very enough sound as we get a wind blows that sinker out to a full count, 3 and 2. He's stepping in just a little bit in the infield, outfield as well. Well, they're not expecting much power if Breeding does make contact, potentially what Dittmer was just shaking on there. Payoff pitch comes down, and that's going to go grounder. Picked up Cleat Boy at 3rd. Across the diamond, Bill Skowron takes that at first, and there's your first out there. 1 up, 1 down. And it's pitcher time. But in here, it is White Wilhelm now as your pitcher. Not 91 for the season, so a little bit down on Jerry Walker's 310, but 7 home runs. There's a bit of old school power in the back here, 37 RBI. Well, no runners on at the moment. And the wind out there being 10th man in defense. Well, you know, home runs possible. Both teams have got one. Hansen in the 2nd and Mangle in the 4th. And we get a called strike 1 there on White Wilhelm. and it's going to be a second called strike as we go 0-2. Wilhelm just taking a time to settle in to the box and just getting kept off pace. 0-2, that's going to go grounder. Tony Kubek's going to pick that up out short, and that's over to first. And that's going to be in time if you're a Yankees fan. 5-3 to open from Mark Breen, and 6-3 on Hoyt Wilhelm, so it's a 2 away. We'll go back up to the top of the order. Mikey Brandt though, fly out and ground out so far for a 0-2 game. 2 away. Top of the 5th, 2 runs up Baltimore, 2 runs for the Bronx. And that's going to be called, nope, that's going to go for ball 1. Another one just blown to the outside there. Sinker doing its best impression of a cutter. And that's going to go ball 2. 2-0 comes down. And that's going to go straight to shortstop. Tony Kubek, it bounced just in front, so it's going to be a low throw over Scowen as well. And that's going to be in time. It's going to be a 3 up, 3 down. Now with that side retired and zeros down the board there. No runs, no hits, none left on base. For the Orioles, no errors charged to the Yankees, so through 5 Orioles. 2 runs to the good. The Yankees made up that 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th, and as we head into the bottom of the 5th, they're just 1 bat swing away from taking the lead here. Yankee Stadium. Just a reminder where everybody is in the league. Baltimore currently tied on top with the Chicago White Sox, 65-47, and the Yankees coming into this game half a game behind. They're on game 109 for the schedule thanks to some rain delays. Baltimore on game 113. So, yeah, half behind, but even if you just take a win-loss, 500, that puts them 1.5 ahead going into here. They could walk away with an effective 2.5, but definitely an advance over the Orioles. Orioles, of course, will be looking to keep ahead of the Yankees in the American. Over the National, Pittsburgh 6 ahead of the Cardinals, and currently falling behind, playing the Phillies out there in Pittsburgh. Okay, let's go for the bottom of the 5th, shall we? And it is going to be the 9-1-2. It'll be our second picture involving Wilhelm and Dietmar. This time it's going to be Dietmar opening up the bottom of the 5th and facing the knuckleballer. And it opens up with ball 1. So Dietmar not letting that one go. Wilhelm just working to find the control of the knuckle. And there's Courtney's double-sized glove as well. And that's ball 2. That's why you need the double-sized glove, so you've got just a little bit more space to catch the ball, especially when the ball is going to be so unpredictable, bouncy, wobbly, jelly shifting. Go on, let me some more words for it. 2-0, down from Wilhelm, line drive out towards shortstop. It goes past Ron Hansen there, and it's going to be comfortable up to first base as Dietmar opens up the 5th for the Yankees and puts himself on first base here at Yankee Stadium. So, top of the order now, Kubek has a little bit of action to play with. First time he's going to be batting with another teammate on base. Currently 0-for-2 in the game though. Yankees and Orioles tied here in the bottom of the 5th. Wilhelm's underway. And that's going to go straight back towards Wilhelm, picked up over to Hansen, who's covering second base. There's first out, throws down, tries to get the turn, and it's not going to be in time. It's just the single out. With Kubek turning the speed on and getting himself in first base. Going to be there on the fielder's choice. And Dittmer's going to be the force out up on second on a 1-6. So one away. Runner remains at first, but now it's Kubek as opposed to Dittmer. To be honest with Kubek's got the extra bit of speed and athleticism in the legs, so not sure if it was worth the trade of the out, but we shall see. Hector Lopez in now. Fly out and then single for a 1-for-2 game. And lets that one go for ball one. Wilhelm with his knuckleball now just starting to get a feel, at least of what he can do. Ball needs to get the feel of the space as well. Swing and a miss for 2-0. Or sorry, 1-1. Ankles equal low. Wilhelm just taking a closer look at the ball. Thinning that up in the fingernails. The wind. And strike two. Cauldron Lopez. Is that just shimmies? There's another one. We can have shimmy. Shimmy's back into the zone from the outside against the wind. 1-2. It's going to turn into 2-2. That goes no wind, so it stays on the outside. Knuckleball at a 10-knot wind. Where's the temperature, Jakes? Really dropping either. So we get ball 3. Down and away, so 1 away. Count full, runner up first. Tied game here, Yankee Stadium. Count is full. Foul out of action. Take your pick. Called strike 3 for the second out of the fifth there, and Lopez just shaking his head and what's going on with the ball. Experienced knuckle will do that to you. So 2 away, and we welcome back home run hero Mickey Mantle. He's got as he did in the previous appearance, he's got a teammate up there on first, Tony Kubek in this case. At that point, he's opening the inning now. It's 2 outs, so a little bit of pressure goes on here. As Mantle lets that one wobble away. Goes to the outside low, and just Wilhelm now at least has the knuckle movement that you'd hope for. Relying a little bit too much on the oversized glove to try and catch it. Not really staying inside the zone. And that's going to go 2-0. Finally heads of the Yankees not swinging at everything here. 2-0 comes to Mantle, swings on that one. That's going to go high. It's going to go long. It's going down towards Gene Stevens on the right field. It's going to be blown towards Stevens, who catches that in the outfield warning track. Just positioned himself underneath that. Wind is going to take a carry, but he did a little bit more loft in there to get a little bit more wind benefit, and with that the side is retired. Mantle's fly ball out to right field, a little bit short on power, a little bit short on length, and Stevens with a normal size glove takes that one out of the air, and the side is retired. 1 hit in all of that, but no runs, and 1 left on base for the Yankees. No errors charged to the Orioles in that one there, as through 5 it's Baltimore Orioles 2, New York Yankees 2, and you will never get the football scorer out of this Scotsman reading down scores like that. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. So you 1, 2, 3 for the Orioles as we go into the 6th is going to be 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. Gene Stevens, Gene Woodling and Jim Gentile there. Stevens 2 for 2 in the game so far and sees ball 1 coming in from Art Dittmar as that sinks down and to the outside. So Stevens 2 hits and 1 of those runs as well, Woodling behind him, fielder's choice and a hit as well. This is the dangerous part of the Orioles this evening as we go 2-0 and that one dives across the letters but goes to the outside. Stevens batting left-handed. 2-0. Straight up to first base, Bill Skowron takes it up there. 1 step, 2 step, on the bag, and there's the out. Comfortable unassisted. Up there for Skowron at third base. And one of the big hitter of this lineup in the evening so far is sent back to the dugout. Now you have Rob Hansen, who's done the homer out, but it's this combination up here of Stevens and Woodling, the 2 Genes, that has been doing, I have to say, most of the threatening. Woodling in here with ball 1. And a fielder's choice and a single RBI. This is a 1-for-1 card as we see ball 2. Dittmar just trying to work onto the third back side with the pitch here. Both Genes here are lefties, so it's just trying to get them to do the outside swing and get them to go down the right field line. And that's called strike 1. Just see Kubek and Richardson shifting over a little bit. Cover the pull from the left-handed batters. And that one goes foul down the first base line. Count goes equal high. 2-2. Woodling just manning himself all the fun of playing in Yankee Stadium. 5 years wearing the pinstripes, now facing them. And lets that go for ball 3. He won't have seen Dittmar too often in practice. Relatively new addition to the Yankees lineup. 3-2. Goes up, second baseman. Richardson takes that up over to Skowron. Comfortable there for out number 2 of the inning. 4-3 given and Jim Gentile. Once more, we have a go-ahead run step in to the mound, but 2 of them retired in order by Dittmar. Looking to do the same with Jim Gentile and get clean out the inning and back into the bottom of the 6th and see if that rally from the 4th can be repeated by the Yankees. And that's going to be called strike 1. It's going to be a 1-0 fouled off. 1-0, no and 1. Maybe there's a 2 in there now. Not and 2. Gentile getting the ball up to first base both times, but not before Skowron got him out. Not for 2 so far, as we see ball one, come down for 1 and 2. Until bringing everything down first base line so far in the game. So that one go for ball 2, so Stengel equal high, 2 and 2. Marsh shaking off one pitch. Blanchard clearly offering him another one which he likes. That is not it. 2 and 2. The Rob Browner goes up shortstop. Quebec takes that one, takes a breath. Over to Scour at first and in time, side retired, in order. Side retired in order by Dittmer here in the 6th, and in order in the 5th, and in order in the 4th as well. He's found a groove. No hits, no runs, none left on base for the Orioles in that inning there. No errors charged to the Yankees. And we'll just take a little look down scores when we get everybody changing over. 1, 2, 3 for the Yankees is going to be Scarambara and Blanchard. Okay, so where are we? Let's see. We have got the Braves and the Reds. It's still tied there. Nobody off the board, bottom of the board yet. No runs in Milwaukee, no runs to Cincinnati. Detroit Tigers still in the lead at White Sox, but White Sox have caught up on 1 run, so it's 2-1 now to the Tigers. A bit of action going over Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. 3 to the Phillies, 2 to the Pirates. San Francisco staying steady on 4 runs, and Cardinals closing in by 1, so that's a 4-1 game up St. Louis. And off the bottom of the board, we've got all of those are through 5th inning, by the way, as is the Boston-Washington game, and that's tied up 3 apiece. Bill Skowron now for the Yankees. 2 hits in the game so far, 2 for 2. Yogi Berra just behind him on deck is 2 walks so far as well. Skowron opens up there with ball 1. And lets that knuckle just bounce around. Hoyt Wilhelm still out there. I think he's going to be up there for the game now. As that dances around for ball 2. Outside low corner. And fouled off there. Big slice underneath as it goes over the backstop there. Skowron now facing a 2-1 count. Wilhelm's knuckle, and the balls are coming in. Still not quite settled there. That's going to be a called strike 2 though, so it goes equal high. And ball 3 takes us to an equal high count. That one bubbles to the outside and rises just a little bit there. Skowron already done a swing to try and make contact here. First time facing Wilhelm in the game. The off comes down, and that goes up third base, picked up there. Brooks Robinson takes a moment, throws over the diamond in time, and Jim Gentile has the foot on the bag to get a pinpoint accurate throw from Robinson. And Skowron retired. Yogi Berra steps in now. Playing in the outfield today to get the at-bat in the lineup. As we get a called strike 1. Wilhelm looking down to... I got to mention it again. The glove is just comical. Like it stops the past balls going that you would normally expect from a knuckle. So hats off to manager Paul Richards for going, hey, nothing says we can't do a little bit of a bigger target for the knuckle coming down. Ball one there, 1-1. And it is proving effective in the long run. And we get a swing and a miss. 1-2. Just feeling a little bit frustrated. That one is a dive down underneath the bat during the swing. 1-2. Wilhelm prepares another knuckleball. Yogi Berra ready to receive, and strike three called there as it dives underneath once more and jiggles to the outside there. The unpredictable knuckleball there delivering for the Orioles and denying the Yankees one more hefty swing from Yogi. Second strikeout for Wilhelm here at Yankee Stadium. A little bit of wind helping that ball dance around in the air. Yankees still trying to work out what to do with it. Freddie Blanchard is next up to give it a go. And he's going to let it go past there. It's going to be called a ball. Lances inside and high. Charge just leaning back a little bit to get out the way. Fouls that one off. It's going to go high past third base into the second deck. Can't equal low. And that's a wibbly wobbly ball two of its own. Wibbly wobbly. I've not to use that again. I've not to use wibbly wobbly again. It is. Look at it. 2-1. Fouled off. 2-2. Count goes equal high. No runners on as yet. 2 away. Bottom of the 6th in the tied game here. 2 runs apiece. 2-2. Line fast and hard going out into the outfield. Jackie Brandt spinning in to take that one and scoop it up off the ground. But Blanchard gets himself on a base. A double play early on the sack bunt. Hasn't given him a chance to take a breath out there. Well, he's got that now. Single to centre field. Late Boyer behind. 2:37 for the season. But not in 2 for the game. And watches ball 1. The word's going down just to make a decision more for the balls than anything else, and just let that knuckleball roll, push, dive its way out of the zone, which it does once more. Wilhelm, it's the count to 2-0. The problem with that is when you do decide to swing, it's erratic in there. That's ball 3. No walks as yet from Wilhelm. He's managed to tempt the Yankees in to making the swings. Three and that goes out to third base. Ron Hansen picks that up. An underarm moving foresight at second side, retired. And Johnny Blanchard making the 45 feet before realising that's it. Out number 3. So 1 hit for the Yankees, but no runs coming off, and 1 left on base. No errors charged to the Orioles, and through 6, it's a tied game, 2 runs apiece. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. into the 7th, and it is the 3rd inning where Brooks Robinson gets to lead off. So Robinson, Courtney and Hansen are Dittmer still pitching, Tony Blanchard still catching. And that's going to go called strike 1. Robinson just having a little lance around there. It's going to be painted for the outside high corner. Not in 1. And that's 1-1. A little bit lower. A little bit more outside there in that one as well. 1-1. Swing, and Robinson takes that one high up into the air down the right field. Hector Lopez is in on the sprint. It's going to be a dive. It's going to be a caught there at full stretch, flying out onto the ground. Lopez gets the ball into the glove there on the stretch, and Robinson looks back. A little short anchor going above the head at 3rd and dropping in to the shallow right field, yet still can't find a way past the outfielder. Lopez there with the wind at his back, and the wind at the ball as well. But Lopez winning out that little tussle of physics in the air. 1 away for the Orioles here in the 7th still tied game against the Yankees. Quinn Courtney steps in now, not for 2. Ground out and strikeout looking. And keeps looking at that one. And it is a good look. Ball 1. It emerges. There's that sinker blowing outside of the zone. And that goes well inside there for ball 2. Whitmer shakes one off. He turns to go with the sinker and the occasional change up. 2-0. Comes in, and that's going to go up high, but it's staying in the infield. Tony Kubek steps in there comfortably, takes that. And that's going to be caught safely by the shortstop. 2 up, 2 down. And we're going to bring in now Ron Hansen. Audemars getting runs in the 2nd and the 3rd, but Dittmer's managed to get his eye in there and get the ground balls out to his defense, who have kept him honest, kept the Yankees in the game. Ron Hansen lets that one go for ball 1. And cold strike 1. Count goes equal though. Hansen, 6'3", gives Dittmer a nice strike zone to work with. Fouls that one off. Goes down the 3rd base line. 1-2. Hansen 255 for the season. Rookie's posted 11 home runs and 56 RBIs. As I said, one of the few power hitters in the Orioles lineup. Line for the 1-2. And that's going down 3rd base line. Klingberg takes that nicely. Cross the diamond, Skowron. And slide retired in the 7th. In order. 0's down the paper. No runs, no hits, none left on base for the Orioles. No errors charged to the Yankees as we hit middle of the 7th. And we all know what that means. I stretch my legs, you stretch yours, and we'll be back sharp. now pause for station identification. You're listening to Classic Baseball Radio, and you can support our recreations with a small pledge at ko-fi.com/classicbaseballradio. And don't forget to like, love, share and subscribe to YouTube, Spotify or wherever you follow your podcasts. Back here in the Yankee Stadium, the lights are bright, the night is shining, and it's a tied game here as both the Orioles and the Yankees trying to find a way past their opposing pitchers. Yankees, having managed to get Jerry Walker dispatched, are now facing the wizened head of Hoyt Wilhelm here in the bottom of the 7th. Bobby Richardson, Art Dittmar and Tony Kubek are going to be your 1, 2, 3, which are 8, 9, 1 on the card. Bobby Richardson stepping up first. Fly out and ground out previously. And it's going to be cold strike 1. Wilhelm's knuckleball dancing back into the zone there. Richardson will be looking just to make contact and get in, but infield taking 2 or 3 steps closer to put a little bit of pressure on him. And that's going to be ball 2. Not 2. Hit smartly. It's going to be picked up. Ron Hansen is short. Over to Jim Gentile at first, and that's going to be a simple retire there on the ground. 6-3. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Our Dittmer comes in now. It's a pitcher. We're managing to draw out a single out of Hoyt Wilhelm when they met for the first time in the 5th. And then we'll see where we go with this one as they both make eye contact. And we open up with, it's another going out third base, but Robinson takes that on the dive, picks himself up in the feet, across the diamond of Jim Gentile. And that's going to be out number 2. As Wilhelm's knuckle gets back into the ground and the defence does that. Robinson diving down to get that one there, picking himself up off the feet. And a snap throw over to first in time for Gentile to pick that one out. 2 up, 2 down. Do go back to the top of the order though with Tony Kubek. Not for 2 and a fielder's choice in there for Kubek. And that's going to bubble around for ball 1. Ends up pushing itself inside and low. Wilhelm asks for that one back. It's the same ball. Mostly just finding a slightly better grip with the fingernails so it can be pushed out of the hand. And it's going to be fouled off by Kubek down the first baseline. Count goes equal low. Swing and a miss. Right through the middle on that one there, 1 and 2. 2 away for the Yankees, bottom of the 7th. And dances outside, ball 2. Count goes equal high. All the 2s on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs to the Yankees. 2 runs to Baltimore. And that's another going out to third base. Robinson, though, can just pick that one up comfortably between the feet and over to Jim Gentile on that one there. So, crowd thinking that's going to go past, but not time for time there. 3 up, 3 down. Numbers on for that one there. No hits, no runs, none left on base for the Yankees. No errors charged to the Orioles, and through 7, it's 2 runs apiece. Who needs 7 wonders of the world when you have Lowe's 5 wonders of movie theatres? Paradise is right here in the Bronx with brighter screens, louder speakers and comfier seats, including our sofa seats for the young and young at heart. Join Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. this weekend as Ocean's 11 visits the Paradise Theatre, 57 Grand Concourse. Into the 8th inning here in the Bronx, and it's a tied game. And it's just the Yankees half a game behind the Orioles in the American, and nothing between them here in the Yankee Stadium. 2 runs apiece. Mark Breeding, Art Wilhelm, and then back to the top of the order for Jackie Brandt for the Orioles. And that's going to open up with a called strike one. Dittmer's sinker just going a little bit further than hoped and not drawing the swing from Breeding. Gets the swing that time. 1-1. Called strike there. Breeding not for 2 so far. Not been called on to do much at second base, not delivering much in the bats here. That one called pass for ball 2. 2-1. And ball 3 comes in there. 3-1. Breeding watching that one go to the inside. The wind on the 3-1, fouled and into the 3-2, and fouled off for once more. Going down the right field line. 3-2. Whitmore does a really big confident yes towards Tony Blanchard catching with a regular sized glove. Fouled off there. We're going to stay 3-2 in the payoff. Going up once again to 3-2. Richardson is going to get that at second base. Slows that down to first, and that is Mark Breeding for 0-3 game off of 4-3. 1 away for the Orioles. 5 outs left in regulation. And it's our second pitcher between Dittmer as pitcher and Wilhelm as batter. 1 away for the Orioles, no runners on. Tied game here, top of the 8th. As we get Dittmer throwing in ball 1. Feeling Wilhelm, the old hat, may take a swing if there's a solid one coming in here. Fouls that one there. By all means swing. And I don't loft that up and over the back. Ambition there. Ahead of targeting. 1-1. Gonna go to foul over the back again for 1-2. Somebody's getting the souvenirs. The 1-2 comes down, goes out towards first base. Skyron steps in from the sand, gets that in the glove and gets the foot on the bag there, and that there is Wilhelm retired. Another unassisted at first. That first, second, third in the game there for Skyron, and it's back up to the top of the order now. Jackie Brandt, a 0-3 game. Everything headed towards Tony Kubek up at short. 1 in the air, 2 in the ground. 3 of them is outs. And lets that one go past. Ball 1. The 4th time round the order. Lets ball 2 go past. So Dittmer will be now working hard to try and keep the pitches masked. Brandt, seen a lot of them now. And lets ball 3 go through. Blanchard just stepping up there from catches and just takes a little step or 2 out. Check with Dittmer how he's feeling on this one. Ten balls Thrown towards Brandt in the game so far. We get back to the reset. Three and 0. Cold strike one. Sinks in from the high and just grazes the top of the zone on that one. So 3 and 1. And that's left for cold strike 2. It's the bottom of the zone, so that's bracketed the belt. 2-0 for the Orioles. 2 runs each for Orioles and Yankees here in the top of the 8th. 3 and 2 comes down. That's hit high. That's hit hard to the left field. It's going long. Yogi Berra thinks he's stopped running. He's looking at it and he's just literally waving bye-bye to it as that goes over the fence there. Brandt tours the bases off a home run. Second home run of the evening for the Orioles in silence. No recognition at all coming from the Yankees crowd. And that gives the Orioles the lead. 3-2 in the top of the 8th, 2 away. Gene Stevens steps in now. Stevens, 2 for 3 so far. Made it round himself and put one of those runs on the board. And watches that one go past and sinks low to the outside. 1-0. Stevens just taking a little look around at the wind and up at the flags himself. To wonder if Brandt's last high loft there, they made the home run, just picked up a little bit of extra wind. Berra just shaking his head at that. 1-0 goes down and it goes towards there. First base carrier picks that one up, but Art Dittmer's over just to cover that as the pitcher, so it's a soft toss. As Dittmer outruns Stevens to get the third out, but not before 1 run goes on the board in the top of the 8th. That could be a critical one there. 1 run coming off 1 hit. That's the home run of Jackie Brown. None left on base, no errors charged to the Yankees. But Baltimore doing what they need to do here. Get the lead and put the pressure on the home team. Let's check and see if we've got any final scores coming in. They've only got 1 coming in now, and it's an important one here. It's the Tigers at the White Sox. 4 runs to the Tigers, 1 run to the White Sox, so that is going to put the White Sox half a game back behind the Yankees as it stands. So the Yankees have a chance just to overtake there as needed. Baltimore, of course, now in the lead there, and give them some clear air if they can stay on the 3-2 here, and would give them the undisputed lead of the American League at least for 1 more night. Bottom of the 8th, it's 2-3-4 for the Yankees. Hector Lopez, Mickey Mantle, and Bill Skowron. And that's going to be called strike 1 on Hector Lopez. And Wilhelm's knuckleball dancing around, getting past there. And that's going to equal things up, 1-1. Lopez, fly out, single, strikeout looking previously. Strikeouts the first time that he's faced Wilhelm. This is the second. As the knuckle dance is in for ball 2. Going inside with the wind blowing from third down to first. That's an impressive twist on it. And that one as to the outside, so 3-1. Lopez glancing himself up at the wind as well, picked up slightly, going a little bit gusty here. Yankee Stadium, Familiar location for the Winds to camp out on a New York night. And that's going to be ball 4. And Lopez is going to take himself up to first on the walk. Mickey Mantle steps in now. Home run in the 4th. And this is 1 for 3 games so far. That's going to be ball 1. It's that one. Go around to the outside and low. Wilhelm's knuckleball. Doing what knuckles do, but just looking back there. Yeah, 2 strikeouts, but 2 hits in there as well. As we get ball 2. Bottom of the 8th here. Yankees down by 1 against the Orioles. Hector Lopez at first. Mantle faces the 2-0. Foul up and over. No, it's not. Courtney steps back there to the backstop. Glove there, the oversized, and he's going to drop it. The out is lost. And Mantle, who's already starting towards the dugout, turns back and scuttles into the box. That's going to be 2-1 on the foul, but it's got to be called an error on catcher Clint Courtney. The oversized glove to try and catch the knuckleballs coming down from Hoyt Wilhelm. Apparently not good enough to catch a foul ball off of Mickey Mantle's bat. 2-1, runner up first. Yankees down by 1. Mantle is the go-ahead. Out at first base, Hector Lopez is the tying. 2-1. There's the wind. Comes in, it's going to be hit high and long. It's going down the short right field, it's going long. Gene Stevens can't do anything about it. And with that, Mantle picks on his 2nd home run of the evening. It's the 2nd time he pushes Hector Lopez round the bags. And it's a 2-run bomb in the Bronx. And not only is that game tied there, as Lopez goes over, Mantle goes over for the home run as well. And the Yankees, from 1 run down, put themselves 1 run ahead. It's another 2 RBI home run from Mickey Mantle. He bounces happily into the dugout there. The lead switches back to the Yankees. And that changes the complexion at the top of the American League. If it finishes where it is now, Yankees would be a game ahead, half a game ahead. Half a game ahead, I got to do the maths now. It would go Yankees, White Sox, Orioles. Complete reversal of what it was 2 hours ago. Still just the half games around. As we just see a call, strike 1 there, Bill Skowron stepping in now. He's in a 2 for 3 games so far. And he's seen his team take the lead, and bases have been cleared. And that's going to be called strike 2. Skowron with a double and a single to open out. Made it around to 3rd base, but not able to take the final steps over as he fouls that one up and over the backstop this time. Clint Courtney is not going to be chasing that one down. So it's not in 2 once more. And called strike 3. And that's the first away in the 8th for the Yankees. And 3rd strikeout for Hoyt Wilhelm's knuckles. So 1 away. Yogi Berra is going to step in now. 2 runs put on the board in the innings so far already. Yankees 4, Baltimore 3. 1 away so far. And that's going to be ball 1. As Berra watches that one. Dancing in the inside low. Berra batting left-handed, so the wind assist coming in on that one there. 1-0. Swing, and it's going to be contact. It goes up. Mark Reading's going to take that one out of the air. Snaps to Jim Gentile at first, and 2 away there for the Yankees. Berra not getting the speed there, not getting the distance on the bat. Johnny Blanchard now So first two scored, next two outs. Blanchard coming in now. 1 game so far. Ground out, sack bunt, and a single. Single was against Point Wilhelm, who he's facing once more. And we're under, and that's going to be hit high. It's going out to centre field. Wind's pushing that down. Jackie Brandt's on the move to try and get that one. It catches that one on the run there for the third out. Running hard in centre field. Wind pushing that one. Not quite out of reach. Brandt able to compensate there. So side retired from the bottom of the 8th. And 1 hit in there and 2 runs going on the board for the Yankees. And get the 1 error in the charge there on Clint Courtney in that failed catch and foul territory next to the backstop. None left on base, so we go into the 9th, and it is Yankees up by 1. Defensive changes for the Yankees going into the 9th here. Joe DeMistri is going to go in at shortstop. Tony Kubek is going to head out to right field. Yogi Berra is going to move over to left field, so it's Hector Lopez that is going to go down into the bench, looking for just a little bit more arm, I think, over at shortstop, and more than likely just to put some more safety catches out with Kubek out in the right field. It's an interesting decision anyway. Gene Woodling steps in. Ball 1 coming through there. Woodling with fielder's choice, a single and a ground out for a 1-for-2 game so far. 1-0, and that's going to be called strike 1. Yankees ground starting to come alive here. 1-1, and that's going to be checked. Nope, it's going to be called a swing. It's going to go 1-2. 3 outs left for Orioles to find 1 more run and draw level. Woodling is the tying run. Go ahead is on deck in Jim Gentile at the moment. 1-2 comes down. That's going to be picked up. Skowron's off position. Underarm toss to Richardson. He turns around. He's going to be out of position. Art Dietmar is coming in as the pitcher and takes that one. Is well, both Skowron there having to backpedal a little bit to get that grounder from Gene Woodling. Bobby Richardson ready to get that at second base, but then decides not to go for the sprint. And the toss to Dietmar. 1 away, Jim Gentile steps in. Orioles need to find 1 to tie, 2 to go ahead. Gentile is the tying run here. And he's going to foul that one off for strike 1. Appreciative crowd gets the ball. Gentile just sort of gathers himself again, a little tap on the feet. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Art Dietmar keeping the tense focus back to his catcher. Blanchard gives a signal. Tiniest move in the head from Dietmar says yep. Comes down in 2-2. It's going to be ball 1. 1-2. Home plate umpire Jim Hornacek just signalling that one there, going a little bit to the outside. Another wind assist you've got to think there. 1-2 comes down. It's going to be ball 2. Count goes equal high. 2-2. Dietmar just taking a moment to think on this one. 2-2. And that's going to be hit fast down the line. Mickey Mantle there is running in, takes that one. It's at the bell, and he's in the glove at the bell. And 2 away. And there's a throw from Mantle, but back into the bleachers. There's the line drive there, caught out in centre field. 2 away, 1 out left for the Orioles. 1 run behind, top of the 9th. Brooks Robinson is going to step in at this one here. 292 for the season. 10 home runs as well. Here's the tying run. Go ahead will be Clint Courtney, who's on deck. And that's going to be ball one. Warren Robinson. Getting eager. And that's going to be ball two there as well. Dittmer just keeping that ball low and into the zone. Not quite reaching it. It's just diving out the way, trying to draw the ground hit. 2-0. And that's going to be ball 3-0. Dittmer's arm just not finding that there. That goes low into the inside there on the right-hander. Robinson there, watches it 3-0, and he draws the walk and takes himself up onto first base. His first visit out there in the game, but it's still 2-0. 2 outs here on the top of the ninth, so it's Clint Courtney in, and all the pressure on the catcher. Gets an oversized glove when he's catching, but it's still a regular-sized bat here. It's got Brooks Robinson out there on first, who's the tying run. Courtney's the go-ahead run. Top of the ninth, 1 run back. There needs to be some action here. And that's going to be ball one again. 5 balls in a row there, coming from Art Dietmar. Arm is starting to drop. Pitching in for the complete game here. And 1-0 comes in as 2-0. And he's just going to take a moment, steps back out. And Johnny Blanchard's just going to come out here and just try and calm the nerves. Change up the rhythm just a little bit. Managed to get through the difficulty of Woodling and Gentile, who managed to get that through, but workload here for the middle of August for Dietmar. 170 innings pitched so far in the season. Blanchard heads back. Dietmar, we'll see if they manages to shake that one off. 2-0 count. On Clint Courtney. And that's a throw, fast right in. And unexpected, gets strike one on the board. 2-1, that's probably the fastest we've seen for the whole game. Dietmar maybe given the rub from Blanchard just to throw something completely off boot. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So from 2-0 we go 2-2, count goes equal high. Courtney waiting on this one. The scrappers hoping to make the difference here. Brooks Robinson tying up first. Go ahead in swinging here on a 2-2. And fouls that one off to the side. A little jog in from Scarron at first, thinking he was going to get the catch, but no. So we're going to stay at 2-2. Courtney doing his typical tough act, trying to drag the Orioles back into this game. 2-2, and it's going to be ball 3. Count is going to be full, so the count goes full, and night time here in the box, and all the lights are on. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the ninth, Orioles down by 1. Pressure goes on to Courtney. Payoff comes down, hits there, and that's going to go foul for 3-2. We do it all over again. All the lights stay on the big boards. 2 outs in red, 2 strikes in yellow, 3 balls in green. 3-2. Comes off down once more from Art Dietmar. Line drives, goes out. Mickey Mantle dives onto that one, and it's a clean, fair catch. That's your 3rd out. That's your final inning, and that is your game here at Yankee Stadium. On a line drive out to centre field, Mantle had already taken a couple of steps in, just put the burners on and dived to get that one there, putting it up before the bounce, and with that the side is returned. Orioles, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base in that final inning. But it's not enough. It's a 4-3 game, and it belongs to the Yankees. two spots. Home runs coming from Mickey Mantle in the 4th and the 8th, both of them driving in Hector Lopez for the RBIs. And that's the 4 runs that the Yankees needed to overcome the 3 runs put up. The Orioles opened up with a home run in the 2nd and a single in the 3rd to go a little bit further. Troy back one with a home run in the 8th, Jackie Bryant at the top, and then in the bottom, Mandel's back, put the Yankees ahead 4-3, and then closed out Art Dietmar. And they put Robinson drawing a walk, and a high number of balls there, but a complete game from Art Dietmar is getting himself and the team over the line here. That is going to put the Yankees in the top of the American League, with the final scores coming in from those 2 other critical games. Detroit going ahead of the White Sox 4-1. That drops the White Sox down as well. So that is going to be the Yankees half a game ahead of the Orioles and half a game ahead of the White Sox. So there's not a lot in it in terms of the games, but in terms of the count, Yankees will play game 110 tomorrow, and Orioles will play game 114 here in the 2nd game of the series. Art Dietmar's going to go the complete distance, so that's going to be 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, and just the 1 strikeout, and that will, the complete game award, him the win. Wilhelm finishes off with a loss, and that's going to be 4 2/3 pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and the loss to go with that. Your final numbers across the top: 5 hits, 1 error, and 3 runs for the Baltimore Orioles, 7 hits, no errors, and 4 runs for the New York Yankees. Puts the Yankees on top of the American League as well, half a game ahead of both the Orioles and the White Sox. Both of them dropped games today, one here in the Bronx and the other at home over in Chicago to Detroit Tigers. Final score here once more: Orioles 3, Yankees 4, and it is back to your studio for Nighttime Jazz. I'll catch you back here tomorrow for game 2 in the series, and a chance for the Yankees to pull even further ahead in the American.
Ron Hansen's home run in the 2nd inning for the Baltimore Orioles is one of 22 he will send out of the park during 1960, on the way to winning the American League's Rookie of the Year award. Hansen was not the only Orioles youngster set for stardom. Third baseman Brooks Robinson would earn a Golden Glove this season, the first of 16 consecutive gloves, still the record for any position player in the majors. The Orioles would retire his number 5 in 1978. Signed by the Yankees from the Kansas City Athletic, Art Dietmar pitched this complete game against the Orioles on his way to pitching 200 innings for the season, earning a career-high 15 wins. He would be traded back to the Athletic in 1961. Orioles manager Paul Richards designed the oversized 45-inch catcher's glove worn by Clint Courtney to help catch the knuckleballs from Hoyt Wilhelm. It would be banned by the MLB in 1963. Tonight's win allowed the Yankees to gain a razor-thin lead over the Orioles and Chicago White Sox in a tight pennant race. The season would end with the Yankees posting a 13-9 record against the Orioles, just enough to push the Orioles into 2nd place and return the Yankees to the World Series. This broadcast should not be considered a complete or fully accurate historical record. Nevertheless, that was our story of the game. We thank Crafting the Call, Retro Sheet and Sports Reference. This is Classic Baseball Radio on Spotify, YouTube and online at classicbaseballradio.com.